Hello everyone, it's time to don your headphones. And if you haven't used it yet, the Q&A is on pigeonhole.at. Please submit your questions and I'll try and get as many answered as I can.
Hear me okay, Aid?
Okay. I'm dead excited about this. So there's not enough sessions about wearable tech, is there? So very, very excited. I'll shush now.
Cool, thank you, Aid. Can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. So the wearables you're using today are actually working, which is always a plus. So hello, I'm Mark. Thank you for joining. I work for gther. And talking of wearables, check out my new hoodie that our marketing team gave me. I feel a bit like a NASCAR with the logos and stuff. So if you want to purchase these from our shop, just give us a shout. So today we're talking about wearables. And obviously we've been talking about them for a long time now. But they've always been quite expensive and quite sort of big devices to wear. Over the next sort of year, the actual entry point for these wearables is really reducing, and big brands like Apple are looking to release their glasses probably 2026. So whenever Apple release anything, then obviously the world explodes and everyone will start to wear them at your shows. So today we're looking at a few examples. We're going to choose a few volunteers from the audience, so look scared. I will be picking on you. And just get you to play around with some of the tech that's available right now, rather than talking too much about the future and what might come. So what are the problems at the moment? So whenever we talk about hybrids, everyone talks about live streaming, where we should really be thinking about how we can use hybrid to create more immersive physical experiences. We've got spin the wheel, so everyone knows an exhibitor stand that has a big spin the wheel to win a prize. What we're trying to do is to think of new and immersive experiences to really engage your events and your audience, so they talk about it, they remember it, and they come back in the future. Everyone knows sort of tech as logistics, so in terms of software, there are many software providers out there, all doing different things to help manage your show, to do ticketing, to help with logistics. But what I want to look at today is more hardware, how we can make the physical experience more immersive for people attending your shows. Sales versus brand. ROI is generally how much do you sell, but we should always look at brand awareness and how we can build those brand experiences to make sure that your customers stick with you for a long time. In terms of attendance, so attendance ROI for your events, everyone looks at how many people converted from your pre-reg. All that shows is how good your marketing team is, rather than how good the actual event experience was. So we look at ideas to help with your future attendance. And as we mentioned on exhibitor stands, everyone's got a screen, everyone hands out literature. It's all a little bit blah, if I'm honest. I hope no one here is exhibiting, but it's good to think of new ideas to really engage your audience. And physical meets virtual. Obviously, during the pandemic, everyone pivoted, went virtual. But what we're doing today is really looking at how we can sort of cross that barrier between the two worlds and help both sides engage, so we have less of a segregated experience. So first of all, show of hands, who's used wearable tech at their event or any event? Aid, yes, you've used them. Little trick question, because you're all wearing wearable tech now. So yeah, a little bit of a trap there. Except one person's not, so he wins. He's okay. He's safe not to answer that question. So here are a few of the examples that we all know and we've seen. The wristbands is a good one. My wife went to a Spice Girls concert a few years ago, and they all had flashy bands, which all changed colour at different times. As if a Spice Girls concert couldn't get any better, it just did. And she came home and she was really sort of talking about how cool it was, and she took videos. So it's sort of looking at how we can use hardware to enhance those awesome physical experiences that we go to. Smart badges, we all know about sort of tap badges. VR and AR headsets and smart glasses, we're going to look a little bit more about those later on in the presentation. We've got haptic feedback, which is sort of touch and how people physically engage with your show. And then the others are a little bit more obscure, which you wouldn't really see too much in a trade show environment. Let's go this side to be in range. So wearables, how can we elevate the physical experience? So what we've done at gther is we've created a few prototypes which are welcome to look at on our stand after the presentation. And we're also going to get a few of you using some of the wearables now. Sean, our head of technology, I'll call him today, is panicking. Everything's on 4G, and we're very much at the mercy of the venue if things work today. So that keeps it a bit more interesting. But if anything explodes, you can come to our stand where we have stable internet, and it's all going to be okay. So first of all, I want to talk about Nreal Air 2 glasses. So we've all seen big clunky headsets. They cost a lot of money. They're not really sort of getting big market adoption unless you're a gamer and you want to have them at home. So Nreal have released a new set of AR glasses about 2 months ago. They're sort of very cheap, so you can get them for about £400. And it's got a nice API, so you can link to it and do various immersive experiences. So what we're going to look at is a few potential ways that these glasses can be used. So to start off with, like wayfinding, it would be great if you had a hosted by a... I'm just going to grab a drink while that's... Quick drink. So yeah, it'd be great if you had a hosted by a... Can you guys hear that in your... Yeah, it's not me, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know I've got an annoying voice, but not that bad. So first of all is wayfinding. So at the moment we're thinking if you had a hosted by a program where you invited VIPs to your show, perhaps you can lend them a pair of glasses and they can use the wayfinding to navigate around the show, look at where the next meetings are. We can create a virtual layer on these glasses. So you may want to have messages pop up telling people where particular content is. You may have video content that pops out of the stand to allow people to demo products. For example, the International Boat Show, you can't demo a boat at Excel, so it's quite good if you can look at a stand and get real-life demos of those particular products. We can have sponsor takeovers, so we all love sponsors. Thank you, Ingo, for sponsoring this theatre. But it'd be nice if particular activations could pop out for sponsors within the AR world. We've got augmented spaces, so this could be used as you as the organizer to perhaps allow exhibitors to see what the floor plan will look like next year. It could also be an exhibitor stand where they're allowing their audience to jump into an augmented world to demo and interact with their products. And there's personalised content. So this is another level of personalisation. So if you can allow people to wear these glasses, walk around your show and deliver real-time content to that person, which could be, if you work on a stand, it could be, "Hi John, you've not scanned a lead in a while," where John's probably in a bar having a drink and panicking that his glasses are telling him off. So at the moment, we're thinking primarily for a hosted by kind of program, because you don't want to rent glasses for your whole audience. But in a few years' time, when obviously Apple release their version, many of your audience will start to come to the show with these devices, and it's good to think about how they can be interacted with. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my lovely assistant, Sean, who's very eager to get someone to have a little play with these. So we've got the Nreal glasses here. So if people want to have a little go on them, they can share them around during the presentation, and you can look silly sat down in a safe environment amongst your peers. And then if you don't get a chance to look at them, feel free to come to our stand at the end. Within the platform, you'll see it when you jump in, but there's a cycle demo which has a really cool globe that you can interact with and explore different parts of the world and sort of see how those glasses work. So I'll pass over to Sean to walk around and annoy you all, so feel free to have a play with those. And in the meantime, I'll hop on to the next bit of tech that we're going to show you today. Sean's found a victim there. Good work, Sean. So the next bit of tech we're going to show you today is we did an example for the Festival of Speed for the Honda stand where we created an interactive scale-electric set, and we allowed each of the players to wear I want to take pictures of people like looking everywhere, but we created an interface with a brain sensing technology, which we'll show you in a little bit, which allowed each of the players to think. I know that could be hard for some people, especially me, but to think to make the cars go faster. So it was a really fun, immersive experience that you don't often see on an exhibitor stand. A bit more interesting than just having a video playing. People would share their experiences, and it really brought their brand to life. We do have a demo of our brain sensing software, which we're going to move on to in a little bit. I did want to bring the scale-electric set, but I wasn't allowed. I'm a big sort of toy man, but it would take too long to set up on the stand, and I got banned from doing it, unfortunately. So how does that work? Let's look under the hood in terms of how that technology works. So on their stand, we had a large-scale electric set, which really sort of brought people to their stand and created really immersive group engagement. Everyone wore a brain sensing headset, which I'm going to show you a little later on. They could think, so they could use their dreams, their thoughts to make the cars go faster, and it unlocks a reward for the winner of the show. I think we need the video needs to face that way to look at everyone smiling and thinking, where am I? Am I cycling? Am I going to crash? That's a good face there. That's a good, yeah, she's got a good face there. Strong emotions. So yeah, that's what we did for like a real example of how we brought engagement and visitor experience to the Festival of Speed. So this is the demo. So we created a demo especially for today. So we have created a made-up fashion brand called Orphus, and we've created a concept called Notion. So what you're going to see here today is we're going to use a brain sensing interface, which I'm going to kindly put onto one of our lovely volunteers. We then would enter an immersive 3D almost shop where DALL-E, which is an AI generating image platform, will create different designs on the fly. Our system will wrap those designs around the trainers, and we have sort of 7 different trainers. The brain sensing technology will see which one you like the most, and at the end of the demo, it will bring up a pair of shoes, which you may not like, but your brain says you liked them, or the shoes made you really angry and you created lots of brain activity there. And then obviously the idea is you can buy a really sort of customized shoe, which is a limited edition. No one else has such another pair. So this is purely just a demo to get an idea of how the technology can be used in a fun way. So yeah, how does this work? So we mentioned we use AI technology. So we have a live integration with DALL-E, which is OpenAI's image generating software. We create a dynamic product on the fly, so we wrap around the image around the shoe. We use your brain. Yes, your brain is going to get used today. So I hope you're excited. So we use your brain to sort of sense and see what emotions each of the shoe is going to show you. So we can explore those different designs. And then at the end, we can show the particular shoe that sort of meant the most to you. So for today, we've got a YouTube video which is going to talk you through this experience, and we can show you the headset. After the presentation, if you come to our stand, we can actually allow you to jump into the augmented world. We can't do it on the stage because of, I've just noticed we've got words up there as well, so awesome. Clever technology there. So we can, on our stand, we can actually do a real-time example where the 4G works a lot better than it does here. So if I flick... cool, so over to Sean. Pressure's off now, I can chill out over here. Sean will place the video for you.
Shoes are not just a functional accessory, but a canvas for self-expression, a work of art that reflects your unique personality and style. With the power of AI, we can now create a pair that is truly one of a kind. As we continue to push the boundaries of what is possible with technology, we are unlocking a world of possibilities that will transform the way we live, work, and create. Today, using neural sensing technology, we break down the disconnect between the might of AI and the human mind. A unique experience unlocked by your subconscious. Welcome to Notion by Orthus. Welcome to the future. The images behind me have just been automatically created using an online AI image generation tool. They are unique to you. Using automated procedures, the generated images have been overlaid onto pairs of trainers, with key colors picked out of the image and applied to various feature panels on the shoes. Using numbers 1 to 7 on your keyboard, consider each pair carefully. You are able to click on each pair to take a closer look. While you consider the options, your brainwave scanner will monitor your neural activity to produce a set of results at the end of this experience, highlighting the pair that resulted in the largest response. You will then have the option to purchase any of the pairs, with accompanying image minted as a limited edition NFT.
So Sean's going to choose someone that likes shoes. Who has more than 10 pairs of shoes? Hands up. More than 20? No. We'll choose the gentleman in the back there who was interactive and put up his hands. That's, he kind of got picked on for joining in, bless him. So yeah, basically this headset it costs around £300. It comes with like a meditation app. It's called Muse, but you can link it via API to Scalextric set, or potentially like a virtual world to see how people are, what emotions people are thinking when they're looking at particular items. So in this example, you see we've got alpha, beta, and gamma, which are different brain waves, which are automatically being sensed by the headset as you walk sort of through the virtual world. And when you get to the end of the demo, the system would have analysed your thoughts whilst you look at each pair of shoe and make a recommendation of the particular design that you like the most. So it's kind of a bit cool using sort of brain sensing software. I'll let you sort of flick on. So I guess it's kind of thinking about what technology we can use now that's cheap to create more of an immersive and interesting experience for your audience. So yeah, have a little think. This is new technology. We're currently just looking at different use cases. If anyone has any ideas, it'd be great if you ask those at the end. Always keen to look at new ways of adoption. So yeah, what's the point? As I mentioned, so I think the key is when people attend an event, it can be very sort of clinical, boring. It's the same sort of stuff as we used to do before the pandemic, where you walk around, you get demos, you end up with a bag full of stuff, and you go home. But you don't really go away with like a really immersive and exciting and interesting experience, which makes you talk about it. For example, imagine if you went to a show where you use your mind to race a scale electrics car. That's pretty cool. You'd tell your family about that, and you probably would go back with them the following year, rather than look at all these leaflets I've got, and I got a few free pencils and a rubber. That's not going to motivate anyone to go to a show. So that's the point. How can we use hardware to elevate that visitor experience into the future and now, rather than just doing what we've always done in terms of shows? So yeah, the secret formula. So emotion drives attention and attention drives sales. So I mean, that's a basic concept, isn't it, in marketing? We're all about to watch a load of Christmas videos that will make us cry, and then we'll go to John Lewis to buy more decorations that we don't need. So it's kind of thinking about how we can create emotional interactions at your shows is the point. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So just very quickly, who are gther? We build tools that can help deliver immersive, interesting, experience-led events. These are some of the solutions. I'm not on a sales pitch. You could just have a little look about what we do. We have a stand which you're welcome to go to after the session or later on, where you're welcome to have a go on some of this tech, as well as get demos on some of these apps if they're of interest. And it's kind of thinking about how the software and the hardware interact. So we have a product called Sync, which allows like a hosted buyer platform that we mentioned, and then potentially you could connect your glasses into that experience. We have a VX platform, which enables your audience to truly engage with your brand before, during, and after the show. And we have a video streaming platform, which is kind of like Netflix, but for the event world. So blue sky is the new black. So what does that mean? It's basically how can we create emotional experiences at our show, because that is what's going to get people to attend the next year and the next year. So really think about what memories we can create and how we can generate those emotional experiences for our audience, rather than just taking it that we converted our pre-reg, it was great, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a long-term visitor to your brand. And yeah, feel free if you want to follow us on LinkedIn and see new examples of what we're doing in this immersive space. You can scan that QR code, it takes you to LinkedIn, you can follow us. And we're on booth C41, which is literally just over there. If you want to come and say hi, give me a cuddle for speaking on stage and not falling to pieces. So yeah, that's everything from me. Over to you, Aid. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
I think we've got a very emotion-heavy audience. They're dumbfounded. They're not asking questions. I can hand the mic out if anyone's got a question they want to raise their hand. I have a question. I would love to have an AR experience around an event, if not just to be able to find the loos. How do you make it happen? You know, how much data do you need? But what's the process to make that work?
That's a good question, Ada. I think, as I mentioned at the moment, because the devices are cheap, as in £400, but not cheap if you have a conference of 1,000 people. So the current use case is more for your VIPs, your sort of hosted buyer people, and what you can use to deliver content to those people as they engage with your event. But I think as soon as I mentioned, as soon as Apple release it, and then maybe 10% of your audience are going to bring their own glasses. What does that mean? What can we offer those in terms of engagement when they walk around your show? I think at the moment, previously, so you'll have a look at these glasses we've passed around. They're fairly discreet and they are getting smaller. At the moment, like the last 5 years, they're big things and you look stupid wearing them, so we couldn't really have mass adoption. But in the future, that's definitely something that's going to really pick up in the event world.
And that thing where you hold your phone up and you can see what's around with you, did that ever really take off? Can you see that working?
I think Pokemon Go did well in terms of, I remember when
the
that
Pokemon
first
Go
came out,
generation are coming to events.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, I remember when that first came out, I was walking along the street just on my phone, and like a guy came up to me saying, "Oh, are you on Pokemon?" I was like, "No." It's like when you're a dog walker and everyone thinks like if you're another dog walker, you want to talk to them. No, I don't really want to talk to you just because you have a dog. But yeah, no, it's an interesting to see how technology will change and adapt. We can do use cases now, as you saw in our Honda demonstration at Festival of Speed, went down really well. And over the next sort of year or so, things are really going to change when people buy their own devices.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Just in terms of, apologies, I was a little bit later here. In terms of the using your own glasses and such like this, is it that you would, it would be essentially streamed down, or is it something that would be hosted on the glasses itself? Because I'm just thinking, if you were in a place where maybe there's not much signal or something like that, wouldn't you then need to almost build an infrastructure into, you know, having maybe a server that is based on sites, and then having that streamed out to all the glasses? Is that something that you'd then have, you know, through people's like 4G, things like that? How would it work, really?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, yes, we can host local data. So, in the particular sort of glasses we have here today, that's connected directly to an Android phone, and the content can be locally hosted. But if a phone has like 4 or 5G, which most places do, although this theatre is some weird black spot which wouldn't let me do the live demo today, but we can definitely synchronize content in real time, and generally internet connection is kind of a given now. It's everywhere. Starlink's taken over the world, so it's only going to get better. So we'll be able to deliver those more real-time experiences. You as the organizer, at the moment you think you send push notifications to your mobile app, you'll be able to do a similar thing to people wearing sort of glasses at your show.
Are there any more questions? Really great.
Awesome.
Amazing bravery there to do demos.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm ready for a beer now, and not a virtual one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Cheers. Cheers, thank you.